Everyone wants to lose weight fast. 10 pounds in 10 days. How to lose 10 kilos in 3 weeks. We all want it. We all want to achieve it. We have all been there. It's human nature. We want fast fat loss. We want linear progress. We all want that. I wanted it for a long time, but it also kept me fucking stuck for a long time. And it's probably what's keeping you stuck, because you go into aggressive too quickly, you're expecting fast fat loss, or you're expecting to see X amount come off in X amount of weeks, and it doesn't happen that way. Or you lose quite a lot to begin with, and it's quite fast to start, and the weight's flying off, and then all of a sudden you hit a bit of a brick wall, and then weight loss stops happening. And then you're thinking, well, what's the fucking point? Understand 3 things. But the first thing is the delusion surrounding the scale. It's this illusion that that scale weight is always going to move down, but there's so many different factors that are going to cause your scale weight to fluctuate. Now, these fluctuations can be caused by inflammation, water retention, additional glycogen from the day before, more water the day before, so many different factors. The time that you had your last meal timings, it all can make a bit of a difference to the scale weight the following day. So what we need to realise is that scale weight might not adjust from a day-to-day basis. Even some weeks it might hold. But over the course of 10 days, 11 days to 2 weeks, we should expect to see some change. But we need to track the average. We need to track more frequent weigh-ins. We need to understand where we can do this and why we do it. So we can do this through apps. So if you don't have a coach or an app like mine that I use with clients, you can use an app called Happy Scale. Happy Scale is free. You input your weight every single morning, in a morning when you're completely fasted, and then you look at how that trends over the course of a week to 2. If nothing changes over the course of 2 weeks, something needs to change. Now that could be with a plan, or that could be with your execution of the plan. How accurate you're being with your food, how much cardio you're doing, or the intensity behind the cardio. Those things can change if nothing changes over 2 weeks, because despite what people say sometimes in that scale weight not moving, oh, I'm building muscle, I'm just holding water from stress. A lot of the time it's just from the fact you're not sticking to the fucking plan or being as accurate as you think. So we need to start looking at the scale weight as a metric, as a tool to understand whether the plan is working or whether we are sticking to the plan. The next thing that you need to consider is lean muscle preservation. You want to maintain your physique, right? Or you want to at least make sure that when you're losing fat, you're not turning into a fucking string bean. So we need to think about muscle tissue. Now, fast fat loss, realistically, is easy. Just don't eat and do loads of cardio, right? Just get really hungry and you'll see the weight fly off. That'll make you happy. No, it won't. Because you'll end up looking like a string bean. And you'll blow away when the wind gets a little bit faster. Because yeah, you might lose the fat from going really aggressive with food, from eating fuck all and doing loads. But the issue is that muscle preservation won't be there because you're not fueling yourself properly. You're not thinking about the amount of protein that's going in. You're not fueling your body to perform in the gym, which then has a massive knock-on effect on your actual physique, the fullness of the muscle, the amount of muscle tissue that you're carrying. So that tissue that you might have worked hard for, in your bulks, what might not have gone to plan, but that's another video for another day. But the muscle that you've built won't stick around if you're not fueling your body correctly. So we need to understand that fast fat loss can happen if you've got some willpower and discipline to just not eat and do loads of cardio. But it also comes at a cost. So we need to be smart and think, how can we create a calorie deficit without losing loads of muscle? And it comes down to fueling your body around your training, maintaining certain lifts, not allowing your training to go to shit because you're in a calorie deficit, and actually expecting a bit of a slower rate of loss. Requires a little bit of patience. It's slower, a little bit more grueling because you're going to be dieting in a deficit, putting yourself at less of a chance of building muscle when you're not in that bulking phase, and it takes more time. But at the end of the day, we're in this game to drop body fat and reveal the muscle that we've got, not to lose the fucker. So please make sure you don't expect to lose loads of fat without coming at some sort of cost and the sacrifice of losing muscle. And if you're seeing loads of weight come off very quickly, consistently, and your training performance is in the bin and you're lifting a lot less than before, expect to look like a string bean. So you've got to stop that now and start fueling your body correctly and start to perform better. And if your performance is really good in the gym and you're losing loads of weight, well, happy days, you're maintaining performance. But if your performance is in the bin and you're losing weight really fast, eat some more fucking food. The third and the final thing is going to be the hidden maintenance point. It's eating more than you realise. The bites here and there, things that aren't being accounted for. The oil that's cooking your food. The drinks that aren't sugar-free. You need to tighten the bolts a little bit and start to account for every little thing that's going in. Not your veg and your fruit. For most people, you don't need to worry about that. But the little bites here and there, the inaccurate weigh-ins of the food that goes in your meals, it all will play a role in why you're not losing fat. And if, say, for example, you are genuinely tracking 1,800 calories, that's great. Because then it's just a case of do a little bit more cardio, do some more steps, reduce food a little bit further. Because despite what people say, if you're eating 1,800 calories and you feel fine, you're not that hungry, you probably can get away with eating a little bit less. Because hunger is going to be a massive telltale sign as to why you're maybe not seeing the change or seeing the change. If you're really hungry and seeing a change on the scale and you're physically seeing changes, that's a good sign. If you are really, really hungry and it's causing you to eat off plan, then you're probably better off just increasing your calories. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the hidden calories that are holding you back. So what you need to prioritize is more accuracy, getting closer to the amount you're actually eating by tracking more accurately and making sure things are accounted for. Because if you start accounting for these things, that's when you're going to start to see more progress. Because eating good and not seeing results, it's your fault, because eating good is not good enough. For some people, you can get away with just eating good and lose loads of weight. Until you don't. Until you hit that brick wall and that plateau and things have got to change. You've got to dial it in a little bit more. You've got to be more accurate. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck. You're going to get burnt. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck and you're not going to be able to move forwards. So those are the 3 things that you need to make sure that you work on. This video on a question, and I want you to answer this in the comments for me. Would you prefer 4 weeks of fast fat loss? You lose all the fat, you get the outcome you want. You don't really lose any tissue because it's only 4 weeks, but you suffer every single day. You feel starving, you're lacking energy, you're doing loads of cardio, you feel burnt out, but you get the outcome. But at the end of it, you maintain it for a week, you gain all the fat back and more. Or would you rather go for a 14-week diet, takes 14 weeks, the same outcome except you actually put yourself in a position where you build a bit of muscle, so you look even better when you're finished. Your performance in the gym stays on top form. You feel much better. It feels a lot easier. And you don't just get a better short-term diet outcome where you get the result. You also get the long-term outcome as well, because you're able to come out of the diet successfully and not put all the weight back on. So what would you prefer? Just put it in the comments below for me, because I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts. Would you just be happier with a 4-week period of suffering and get the outcome and put it all back on and more? Or would you prefer to do it in a longer period of time, build a little bit of muscle, look a bit better, and have that successful longer term development as well? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video useful, then just do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next video.